shocking results of the Brexit vote left many markets and currencies bloodied today. With Britain quitting the EU and PM David Cameron stepping down, Britain's currency took a real pounding, plunging to its lowest in 30 years. The outcome roiled regional markets, though the FBM KLCI was relatively more resilient. The local benchmark fell 28 points earlier today, before paring losses and closing down about 6 points to 1,634.05. In comparison, Japan's Nikkei was down almost 8%, its biggest one-day fall since the 2011 quake and tsunami disaster. Etika Insurance and Takafu's Chris Ng warns it's still too early to say where the markets will end up though, and that ultimately it will depend on how the US markets react to today's development. But it has managed to stay above the 1,600 point level, and if it can hold above this level on Monday, it will mean that there is not a lot of selling pressure left in the KLCI. Meanwhile, the ringgit, which weakened to as low as 4.1365 against the US dollar earlier in the day, has strengthened to 4.086. It's currently trading at 5.6994 against the pound sterling, though according to Bernama, MIDF research believes that the local currency could strengthen up to 4 against the British currency. MyEG, the company which handles foreign worker rehiring and road tax renewals, has been fined 2.27 million ringgit for anti-competitive behaviour. According to the Malaysian Competition Commission, or MyCC, the concessionaire is guilty of abusing its dominant position in the online foreign workers permit renewal market. This is because it is selling mandatory insurance policies, which means it is competing against other insurance companies. And it was applying different conditions to equivalent transactions with these companies to the extent of hurting competition in this market. MyCC wants MyEG to take remedial action, including providing an efficient gateway to all insurance companies selling the mandatory insurance, which will allow them to compete at the same level. It will be fined additional penalties for each day it fails to comply with these actions. It looks like AirAsia and MAHB may be squaring off soon behind closed doors over a dispute regarding the rebranding of KLIA2 as LCCT2. With tensions between the two threatening to reach boiling point, MAHB has reportedly come out to say that it sees no point in dragging the feud out in public. And it's inviting the budget carrier as well as the Transport Ministry to discuss the matter. Both MAHB and Transport Minister Liao Tiong-Lai have said KLIA2 is the registered name of the airport under the International Air Transport Association. So Badli Sham says AirAsia should know very well that the airport's name cannot be changed. Sure, there's freedom of speech, but Badli Sham argues that a name change won't help promote neither the KLIA2's facilities nor the country. Outgoing Malaysian Airlines CEO Christoph Mueller is getting flamed for calling the airline staff lazy. Former MAS chief Abdul Aziz Abdul Rahman said the airline's failure is due to weak leadership of its board members. Abdul Aziz, who served MAS for 10 years from 1971, even went as far as to suggest that the entire board should be placed before a firing squad. Speaking at a conference held by a Malay business lobby group, he said Khazanah Nasional made a mistake by hiring Mueller to head its restructuring exercise, while keeping the board members who were responsible for the carrier's losses for the past 15 years. Abdul Aziz said Mueller himself should also be sacked for making rude comments and insulting the Bumiputra community. He also criticized the massive job cuts and insisted that MAS could have been saved if there was careful planning. Best Oracle, the controlling shareholder of Click Energy, has once again failed to stop the company from closing down after its 3-year timeline to secure an asset expired. The High Court today dismissed Best Oracle's application to strike out the SPAC's winding up petition. This was to enable the court to consider all evidence and to determine whether or not to award an order. Judicial Commissioner Norin Badarudin said it is also unnecessary for Click to obtain its shareholders' approval before filing the winding up petition. Aside from that, she also noted that Click is no longer engaged in full-fledged operations, as the company's staff have been retrenched and it doesn't have funds to pay for the necessary costs. She also ruled that other shareholders and interested parties should be given the chance to attend the hearing of the petition to hear the merits of liquidation. Best Oracle will appeal the decision next week.